Welcome, my name is Toms, and in this video I will share you world's most occulted secret and conspiracy you probably haven't heard before because it's so occulted. And just to give you an idea what I'm talking about is it doesn't even show up on Google search trends whatsoever, and specifically what shows up. When you search a quick Google search, it turns out that the most searched keyword on Google is Facebook. However, when we go to the UK, it's not Facebook, it's something else. It's also not Queen, it's not World Cup, it's weather. So people are more likely to talk about weather than this thing that causes most diseases. And it's so common and so well known, but no one talks about it. And because no one talks about it, we still suffer from it. And before I continue and reveal what is this one thing, I must admit that ChatGPT is disagreeing with me. Yes, ChatGPT says that this thing is important in contribution towards diseases. However, it says it's not one thing alone causing disease. And I'm here to say that actually that one thing is the one root cause that actually causes everything, and everything else is just a symptom or contribution after this one thing. Science is also still avoiding to acknowledge the fact. And why is it so? How come that this one specific thing that everyone, each and every one of us can deal with simply and easily is not being talked about and no one really tackles it? Simply because we spend our mental energy on meaningless things like Facebook, Queen, and weather. So we rather talk about weather than stress. Yes, mental stress is the one single most root cause that causes all of our diseases. And there's plenty of evidence showing that it has so much contribution to the main diseases like heart disease, lung cancer, accidents, liver, suicides. Mental stress is the one single thing that causes to suffer from any health diseases. And I want to specifically mention it's mental stress instead of emotional stress, because my belief is that all stress is in origin mental. So that means thoughts are creating our stress. And there are many quotes that kind of disagree as well. Like, for example, there's this quote from Dr. Dean Ornish: "Chronic emotional stress is a major contributor to virtually all chronic illnesses, from cancer to heart disease, autoimmune disease, and other conditions." So he's admitting that stress is the cause. But however, he says emotional stress. Yes, emotional stress is cause of it, but it's not the root cause, because emotions get created by our thoughts. So the root cause is actually mental stress, and emotional is just a symptom easy to notice. So yes, he's right. Chronic emotional stress is cause, but it's not the root cause. And the thing is that each and every thing that happens to us depends on our perspective. How do we interpret it? So because when you have two people in the same condition, each of those people will react differently. One may be stressed, other may not. Why? What's the difference? The difference is in mindset, how they interpret, what kind of story they tell about the situation, what's the meaning, how personally they take this circumstance to them, and how do they process this information. So it's not about what happens to you, it's how you interpret it. What's the story, what's the meaning? And that's how we basically stress ourselves. And I'm completely convinced that the mental stress is the root cause, because all of us have this innate and natural ability to heal ourselves. All we need to do is get out of our ways, follow some simple guidelines like move your body regularly, stretch, exercise, eat well, nourish it, get some sunshine, and rest. Sleep, take breaks, and don't overwork your brain, your body, your emotions. Just have everything in balance. Follow simple guidelines, and your body will be healthy. what happens is that we don't follow these guidelines. What happens is that we overly use our mind, and we overly obsess, worry, doubt, get anxious, get angry, and all those things we bottle these emotions because society doesn't allow us to express them fully. And as we keep suppressing ourselves and keep using our logical thinking brain too much, we get exhausted, and then we worry we haven't gotten time for ourselves, for our spouse, for our friends, for our family, because we're overworking ourselves, or other way around, we've been spending so much time with family, we don't have time for ourselves. So idea is that all the root causes are in mind and thoughts. And all we really need to do is take care where we put attention. Yes, nothing wrong with spending time and searching and wondering what kind of weather we'll have today. But at the end of the day, is that really important, or health is more important? So are you spending, when you're spending 20% of your day thinking, talking, and contemplating about weather instead of your health, where is your mind located? What's more important for you? Obviously, your mind thinks weather is much more important than health, and therefore you would rather buy a new umbrella than actually go to the gym, practice yoga, or do meditations, clear your mind, practice mindfulness. And mindfulness is also one of the key reasons why mental stress and stress management in itself is not so attractive. People don't search for it. It's because society is telling us how we should look like, how we should behave, what's accepted, what's not, and no one really likes to talk about stress in these days. Everyone likes to talk about their problems and then goes to the weather, because that's easy. However, the thing is that we've been bottling these things, not being able to share because of society pressure, and at the end of the day, we don't like ourselves. And because we don't like ourselves, it's really hard to practice mindfulness. It's also a muscle, so it's one thing is that we really dislike ourselves, most of us. We didn't love ourselves, and the more we dislike ourselves, it's less likely that we want to pay attention to our own thoughts, what's actually happening there behind the scenes. Therefore, mindfulness becomes really exhausting practice. So we don't want to actually know that, and because we don't want to even touch the mind, don't want to control it, want to go on autopilot, it's really hard for us to diagnose when a problem comes up. And because we don't really want to see it, we shy away from it, and we search for external solutions, external blames. And that's why pharmaceutical industry is so big, because we don't really want to solve our problems. We don't want to get rid of our stress. All we want is have a sugar pill that gets rid of the symptoms, so we continue our daily lives without actually doing anything about it. All we want to get rid of the symptoms. Most of us. However, that's not the way to do. The way to do it is finding a root cause, solve the root cause, so the problem doesn't come back again. And that's work. That's actually work. However, not so many people talk about it. Another reason why stress is not really talked about is from pop culture. Listen to any rap music, pop song, everything goes around of feeding what's already in there. The sad, breakups, money, sex, all these topics go all and round and round and round, just feeding the same things back to you, and then you get more of that. They complain how bad their life is, how bad their relationships, or how much their money they have and you don't have it. All these things they just keep on feeding and make you feel the same things, and you want to have those same things because our mind likes to feed on the same things and likes comfort zone, doesn't really like that change because it hasn't been taught to like change. It's a skill. That skill we honestly don't encourage to our children and to our society in the first place. So in order for us to get out of this conspiracy, we actually need to start talking about stress and how it is actually causing all our diseases. And that's quite simple to understand when you understand how stress impacts our body. And simply, whenever you're stressed, your immune system goes down and our body can cope with huge amounts of stress short term. However, our body is not designed to handle chronic stress. So anything longer for a couple of hours, couple of days, that's not how our body is designed. It needs a break. But what happens these days, we're under constant stress, on constant worries, and therefore our body doesn't have a break to process, heal, and that's where diseases come from. All we need to do is relax, chill, take a break. And that doesn't mean that we actually need to give away our responsibilities. That only means that we need to have breaks, release, not take things too seriously, not take things too personally. And that's quite simple. So I encourage you to start searching, researching, and talking about stress management. And it's quite simple. Breath work, as I said, simple things: move, go for walks, go to the gym, practice yoga, any kind of movements, eat well, replace your unhealthy habits with a bit more healthier ones, take breaks, rest, and don't take things too seriously. Just have fun. Make sure you have enough fun today, because life should be and must be exciting journey, and make sure you have one. I hope you really enjoy this. Hope you really are able to acknowledge that thoughts become things and it manifests things into your life, and it's exciting and quite curious to observe what's happening in your mind and take responsibility for things in there, because that's what you get more of. So start loving your stress, make sure you take good care of you, have a magical day in front of you, and see you on the next one.